Winners will roll off as the cars prepare to heat up the engines and tires. Here's a look at our race analysis. The early morning fog has burned off. A brilliant day. It feels warmer than 67 degrees. A light breeze will keep everyone nice and cool. No chance of rain, although it was originally predicted for late this afternoon. A look at former winners of this race. The best in Belgium, Ayrton Senna with 5 wins, as I mentioned. Jimmy Clark won 4 races here in Belgium, including 4 in a row, a feat that Ayrton Senna also accomplished. Eddie Cheever, you've driven here many times, you've scored points here and had podiums here. Tell us a little about the track at Spa.
Well, this is a really unique track.
It's on the right. Let's see if Michael Schumacher takes a run at the lights, if Prost staggers.
Prost has done a good one. Prost has done a good one.
Prost lights up the tires, and it's Schumacher behind him with problems. Schumacher away very slowly. And it looks like Jean Alesi will dive to the inside. Ayrton Senna takes the long line around the outside, but the leaders are through cleanly at La Source. Senna got around Damon Hill. It appeared for second place. Let's see. It is Prost first, then Senna, then Damon Hill on the first run through Eau Rouge.
Stall on the line. Somehow he kept going, but only after almost everyone had passed him. Senna, on the contrary, made a good start again and lined up behind the...
In support of Alain Prost.
This is a perfect situation for Prost. He's got Senna holding up Hill. He'll just very quietly work his way away from the field, not use the car any, and all he's doing right now is what he's been doing in testing, just running laps in the perfect position.
Now we anticipate a tire stop. It should come somewhere between laps 15 and 20 of the 44 scheduled. And there may be 2.
I think this is it for Senna. At the end of the straightaway, yeah, there we go. And Senna's going back on him again.
And Hill drifts to the middle of the track in defensive posture. Good action there coming into Lacombe. Now let's see how quickly Damon Hill draws away from Senna in the McLaren.
後ろはスタートに失敗したシューマッハである。オールージを駆け上がり抜きながらアグリにサインを送っていく。
Auf Platz 9 zurückgefallen, beginnt er eine furiose Aufholjagd.
Saw the third place car of Ayrton Senna go by, then Jean Alesi, then that was Schumacher, I believe. Or is that, yes, Michael Schumacher with the blue patch on top of his helmet gets around Aguri Suzuki for 5th place.
That Schumacher's a man with a mission. He wants to see if he can win his second Grand Prix at the place where he's won his first. He's a very talented driver. I watched him around the circuit today. I'd say he's probably one of the best new hot shoes in Formula One. This guy is really aggressive, and he's willing to take all the risks, I think, that are necessary. It might take some time for his style to develop more and learn how to win races like a master like Prost does.
Michael Schumacher has 4th. He will try a 5th, that is. He'll try to close it.
And Schumacher was making...
In der berüchtigten Senke von Eau Rouge macht der Deutsche jeweils so viel Bodengut, dass er den Schwung auf der langen Bergaufgraben nutzen kann, wesentlich leistungsstärkere Fahrzeuge zu überholen.
ここでかわしていきます。今ドーンと上げながら、さあフェラーリ V12 対フォード V8 ですが、これでまたシューマッハ順位を上げました。4位に上がった。
When you get to the last corner of 7, you're going to be very slow and you're going to be in the wrong place. So it's one of those places you don't really want to attack too much.
Look at the gap the Williams teammates have drawn out over Ayrton Senna in the red and white McLaren. And now here comes Michael Schumacher.
Now this should be a fantastic battle. We have 2 completely different car manufacturers, Benetton and the McLaren, and they both have the same engine. And they've both been complaining about not getting the same engine as the other one. And you have 2 drivers that do not want to finish behind the other.
Here's a look at our Ford Electronics telemetry on Michael Schumacher's car. Throttle position in percentage on the left, RPM in numbers on the right, and look at the speed, just over 195 miles an hour to 196 before he hits the brakes. See the gear position, he's in 2nd gear. Really working that throttle.
This is almost more a battle of wills than a battle of cars right now. These are probably two of the most aggressive drivers in Formula One. I would put Berger and Elysée in the same category, but these guys are not known for taking no as an answer. So if Schumacher ever gets a run at Senna, Senna knows he's going to carry it through.
Saw that hillside covered with people, a huge crowd here in Belgium as the attendance numbers continue to pick up in Formula One since mid-season, when it was theorized that the absence of Nigel Mansell from the championship kept the crowds down, but they seem to have picked up. Organizers here say they are 10% ahead of last year's crowds in Belgium.
Nigel who? Who's this? I mean, he's the guy who races Indy cars now?
Right. Famous IndyCar driver. You'll make his acquaintance in Nazareth, I'm sure. Now back onto the public road that runs from the village of Stavelo uphill to the village at Spa.
Top speeds of these two cars, as you can see from this great in-car camera shot, is very similar. Where Schumacher makes up his ground is under braking, and it's always easier when you're following a car to make your mark on the car ahead. The car ahead, which is Senna in this place, he has to kind of like feel his way around the corner because he's the first one getting there.
Hear the brakes whistling as Schumacher slows the car for La Source way over on the left.
Now, all the gears, as he's going up in the gearbox, he has already pre-selected with a button. The computer knows that it has to go up 4 gears before it gets to Eau Rouge. He does no longer touch. Neither of the drivers touch the gear lever. They don't touch any buttons at all. And then when they're going on the straightaway, they push another button that changes the drag of the car. It lowers the rear end, so the car is faster. These are all numbers they've gotten in a wind tunnel, and these are all things they know will give them that little advantage.
And many of these things will no longer be on the cars when new rules come into play in January. Right now, let's put paid to Jean Alesi. This is a very early tire stop. Schumacher is in as well, so everybody must be feeling their tires going off, Eddie.
I would assume so, but again, Prost was not the first one in. Of this group, I think Prost will probably be the last because, look at Schumacher. Obviously, his computer's not quite working the way it wanted to when his tires are cold. That's more what you should see. I should see the driver having to.
With those expensive but very effective tire warmers, keeping the rubber as hot as possible before the drivers come in. This is Senna off of the private track and onto the public road, the Stavelo Spa Road. About 175 miles an hour through here. And listen for the shifting when he approaches the chicane.
The notice is...
Oh, Alain Prost has come in. You saw the brake dust flying. Keeps those revs up, drops the clutch, smokes the tires. Yeah. Very narrow pit lane here at Spa.
Almost hits the pit wall on the way out, and Senna's in.
James Allen is standing by.
Ayrton Senna, just a few seconds after we saw Alain Prost slide the car, just missing Senna's McLaren mechanics.
セナがコースへ戻ってみるとシューマッハは左サイドにいた。あっという間にスパートされ、シューマッハ3位、セナ4位。
Forced the Benetton driver to put 2 wheels on the grass as the McLaren came out of the pit lane exit. But Schumacher kept his foot firmly on the throttle and just squeezed by into 3rd place.
なってしまった。
You'd have to guess McLaren. They are really
no,
quick.
he got by him. He got by him. See, that's what happens when your pit crew is not quite up to speed as they should be. I can assure you right now there's some very curt messages going back from Senna to his pit crew because he was holding off Schumacher and Schumacher was not going to get around him on the track. And now we're in a different position. We've got Schumacher ahead and we've got Senna following, and I think Schumacher will be able to get away from him. And as they get through traffic, it'll be interesting to see which of the 2 drivers manages to get through without losing the most time.
There goes Michael. Here comes Prost, followed closely by Damon Hill.
Down to 2nd and a half now.
Mark Blundell a lap down. There's Gerhard Berger, who has driven brilliantly. He started in the pit lane. There is Michael Schumacher. Berger is a lap down right now, however. He had a long pit stop.
Did you notice how Schumacher drove all the way to the left to avoid that dust storm? He could not see what was behind that, so it was a very wise move. There could have been a car parked there.
Riding with Michael Schumacher. Now, Alain Prost had a close call with Mark Blundell.
See the difference. That big difference is that Prost exits the corners faster than the Ligier does.
Michael Schumacher getting him crossed up just a little bit there as he attempts to run down Damon Hill. He is about 9 seconds behind him right now.
He's got to work the traffic, doesn't he? He's got to work the traffic. He's got to work the traffic to his advantage.
A tremendous number of German flags in this crowd. Schumacher says he has 3 home races. Monaco, where he now lives, Germany, of course, his nationality, and this race in Belgium, just 60 miles from his hometown of Kirpen, Germany.
This could be a problem for Schumacher. He's got Berger ahead of him, and Berger, I can assure you, has no intentions of letting him go by.
Berger once again is a lap down, running in 12th position. Mark Blundell, the blue car, just ahead of him going through Eau Rouge. There you see the Ford Electronics telemetry. Full throttle up the hill, up to 6th gear, over the top. Whoa, those titanium rub strips on the bottom. A shower of sparks right into the visor of Michael Schumacher. And there's Gerhard Berger, not wanting to let him go by.
Berger is not one. Whoops. Berger is not one of those drivers. And look, Schumacher had to go all the way up. Oh, something's wrong. Why doesn't he take it? Oh, that's costing him time. That's important time. That's important time. He's only like 3 seconds ahead of Hill.
A long stop, some 9 seconds on that stop, about 3 seconds longer than it should be. Now Damon Hill should be approaching, and there he goes. Damon Hill is your new leader at the Grand Prix of Belgium as they head down to Eau Rouge. One of the Saubers was parked by the side of the road there. Here comes Martin Brundle in the blue Ligier, followed by new race leader Damon Hill.
It's a fight. Right now, it's a fight. We have very few, not that many laps to go. Is it 12 laps to go? It's going to be a fight between the 2 Williams drivers. Obviously, there are no team orders.
Damon Hill so slowly through La Source, so named because there is a water spring that runs under there. Officials thought about building a hotel on that spot, but they were prevented because of the water running underneath the racetrack at that point.
Prost has got 2 problems now. Hill is pulling away from him, and Schumacher is going to get him at the end of the straightaway.
Pulling up very
I think
quickly.
he's got him. He's got him. He gained a lot of time at the Eau Rouge.
Oh, Prost. Oh, and Schumacher had to light him up to get it load up for the corner. And now Schumacher hard on the power and gets a little tail happy there in the
tires, and you get a horrible vibration. You can barely even see the ground. Prost has got to make a move now. Prost has got to make a move now that Schumacher has got a problem with Ligier ahead of him.
Meanwhile, Damon Hill is not wasting time. He just turned in his fastest lap yet, a 1:52. So Damon Hill obviously has been given free rein to pull away.
But the fastest lap of the race is held by Schumacher.
We'll take a quick timeout and be back for more. Go on and win his second to start immediately following. Extraordinary. Now Schumacher, whoa, has gone around Ricardo Patrese, and now he's chasing Damon Hill.
And now
That's
this is a head-to-head with 2 of the hottest new drivers in Formula 1, Schumacher and Hill. We're going to see which of these 2 guys has got it in him to win the race. I think Hill's got a little bit of an advantage here, but Schumacher seems to be closing in on him.
Going for another tear-off, Michael Schumacher has reset fast lap in this race for 3 consecutive laps. With the help of our Ford Electronics telemetry, you see him at work on the throttle, the RPM that result, the speed he's traveling, and the gear he is in.
Now Schumacher knows exactly how much time he needs to catch up to Hill, and Hill on his board, they're giving him that information as they run. So they're both, at this point of the race, they're both running as hard as they can. And I believe it's going to be a rush right for the flag. I think it's going to finish at probably less than half a second in one direction and the other.
Hard on the throttle, 100%. Alain Prost now has taken fast lap of the race from Michael Schumacher, so the professor is not out of this one yet. 1:51.839. Compare that with the fast lap in last year's race set by Schumacher at 1:53.791. So we are well under last year's fast lap.
These closing laps, as we're being in good physical condition, makes a big difference because they've had a pretty grueling race to date. But if your body is still strong, you're not going to be thinking, oh, I'm tired, my back hurts, my legs are tired. You're thinking, all I got to do is catch this guy ahead of me. So you're just concentrating on the job at hand.
Schumacher into the bus stop chicane. He will come out, and our James Allen will have a very interesting perspective. Take it away, James. In the championship by the guys who have won them, I would guess Frank Williams has gotten great value out of Damon Hill, considering what they paid for the likes of Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna.
Absolutely, but those are one of those deals that turn around in time. Here he is. What a win. Congrats.
And the Williams team, you can bet, is very happy for this man.
All right? Yeah.
モナコでご近所のシューマッハとアグリは仲良し、食事や遊びを共にしている。